The meeting of the Board of Ellis County Commissioners will now come to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Bobby, please note that Commissioner Roth and I are here, and Commissioner Hazelhorse will be absent this evening.
Okay.
And order of business, are there any changes to the order of business? No executive sessions tonight.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Prior minutes. Commissioner Roth, did you have a chance to review them?
Yeah, everything seemed fine on them.
Okay, minutes will stand as presented then. Consent agenda. You want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda items A through G as presented.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Issues from persons not on the order of business. See no hands go up here. Introduction of new employees.
Good evening, Commissioners. Bill Ring, soon to be the former Director of Public Works. I'd like to ask Brendan to come up. I know you, Madam, but I want to publicly introduce him. This is Brendan McKay, who will be my replacement from Lincoln County, and he started today, and I think we're off on a roll, and I'm looking forward to the next basically 4 weeks working with him, and getting acclimated.
Sorry, I kept switching sides.
That's all right.
I'm Brendan McKay. I'm Kansas transplant, like it seems a few of us are, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to finally get placed somewhere that we can settle down and spread our roots. And got 2 young boys, and they're excited to be moving out this way, and all the opportunities for the schooling and sports that will be available to them. And wife's excited because all the cooking that she gets to make for more people now. So
Yeah.
if you see cookies or something like that floating around, or different baked breads, it might be from the wife. So thank you guys for the opportunity for this, and look forward to working all with you.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brendan, we're excited to have you.
Oh, yeah. I planned on staying longer, but I realized I got the car seats and the kids got wrestling price at 6:30, so I'm going to get taken off.
Okay, sounds
take care
good.
now. Okay, township officers. Donna.
Good evening, Donna Maskus, Ellis County Clerk, Election Officer. Let me pass these out right quick. I have a slate of the officers for Election Board, for Township Board, I should say.
They stick together, don't they? Okay.
Okay, first of all, I want to say a big thanks to all the persons that my office had contacted to see if they were interested in serving on the Township Board. It's getting harder and harder to find people that are willing and feel like they have time to do that. And of course, we had election last year for the trustee and the treasurer. But the only one that I'm missing still is Ellis Township Treasurer. We have contacted over 10 people of write-ins. And I even went back to contact recent ones that had served, and I'm unable to find anyone. So I'm asking for direction from you. If you have any names, would you please let myself or Bobby know? I'd like to get it all completed this week. That's my goal before I leave, that we can have a full slate of township boards. Bobby did send out the reports. We need end-of-the-year reports from last year, and those went out. So we do have quite a few new ones on the list, but I do appreciate those people that are willing to serve. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I don't at this time.
Okay.
I have a couple for you here, Donna.
Okay.
You know, this was something that we had discussed a bit through email a year or 2 ago, maybe. Well, it had been about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
The idea that we have this many townships and the need to have this many townships and what might be the future for this commission and what they do with that. It's obvious that it's pretty hard to find people that want to do this. It's just another thing that adds to their life. We're about to get a census back, and I wonder if that might be the future, is lessening the number of townships that we have, making them bigger, and then possibly alleviating some of this issue that you had. I know that's what you had talked to me about, not so much in my role as a commissioner, but as the chair of the Ellis County Republican Party. I'm in favor of that. It sounded like at the time the chair of the Democrat Party was not, but I think that might be the move forward. I think that lessening the number of these, there's really not a need to have this many townships. We're not set up. Typically, we run one full fire department. We run a road and bridge department. Sure. I just don't know that we need to do this going forward. I imagine that's something I come to the future commission with, is maybe some sort of way to change that up and lessen the number that we have. I would need direction. I'd need to know exactly what they're doing and how to do it. But once a census is put through and we know how many people are in different areas, I imagine we can work on redrawing that and making it a little easier. As far as for Ellis Township, Gosh, I don't know. Bill would probably know better than me if somebody over
I
there.
did check with Bill because Bill is on the township board, so I've already made connections there, so.
I don't know if he can have 2 jobs or anything, but he's retiring now, you know that.
Well, I would say on the comments that you asked, Bill Jeter is going to have to look into it. I know Bill and I, in the past, have spoken about this. Per Kansas statute, they have to be in a township. They have to reside in a township. So Bill will have to maybe possibly research that and go forward. I know Bobby and I have spoken about it too, because we all know it's getting more of a challenge to find people, and they do have to report their budget figures, and we had a prior administrator that was very good about helping or doing it. And it is a job, it's a process, so I see that as being a big obstacle for serving in that capacity, but we've had great people that have served many years, and I do appreciate that.
It's interesting how things like this, archaic ideas, can hang on for so long in government. Even the idea of the number of counties that we have in Kansas, it goes back to a time when we were on horse and buggy, and you had to be able to get to the county seat and back to your home in a single day, and that's why we have 105 counties in Kansas. If you start looking at maps of like presidential elections, you'll see gigantic counties out in states like Nevada and stuff like that. Now, I don't know if that's the best way to move forward for the state of Kansas. I think that it would be really hard to get rid of the county system because they're set up in a way that runs fire departments and EMS units and things like that. But there's definitely efficiencies that could be had too. And I would hope that smaller counties around Ellis County would lean on us, especially our health departments or things like that, to help aid them in being more efficient in their counties and keeping their tax burden lower as well through the process. But I don't know how this works, and I don't know if it's something we have to work with the state on, but I imagine now that a census is going through, this would be our opportunity to do such a thing.
Yeah. Commissioner, Bill Jeter, County Councilor. I've looked at that before, and I can't remember the exact procedures, but I think it involves action from the Township Boards.
Okay.
And it's not a matter of eliminating a township, it's a matter of a township or townships combining to form one new township.
Okay.
And there is a process that be done. It doesn't involve the state, it's all done locally, so we can certainly address that again after the census. And
I do know prior to Administrator Phil leaving, he had this discussion with me on a couple of occasions. He very much was in favor of consolidating some townships. He had some legalities laid out in front of him that he showed to me too, and I'm also in favor of looking at that issue, and I think is something that the next board will have to take up and look at.
Yep, I think if we could simplify the lives of some of these people, I know there's a reason why people are telling you no, and it's because they don't want to be put on deadlines. They don't want to have another thing that they have to get into the clerk. You know, it's just become a burden for them, and I don't know that it really helps them at all in terms of what they may do, you know, in that township role. So it's definitely a discussion to be had.
Bill?
Bill Ring, Ellis County Township Clerk. I will reiterate some of the things Donna has said, and it is very difficult. Bobby has been working very diligently. I know Donna has as well. And don't take this wrong, but we don't do anything we spend some money. And we duplicate the spending of money because we all spend $100 and some to get bonded. We don't do anything. We spend all this money on public notifications. We don't do anything. So again, if you could consolidate, you immediately would save, because it's not a matter of how big your township is, the fact you have to bond the township.
Yeah.
So if you had 3 townships and you got rid of 7 or 8 or however many there are, you'd save all that money. The public notices, you'd save all that money. It's just taxpayer money we could save
Yeah.
by doing the consolidation.
Well, and I know that at the time that I got the email from you, Donna, I was in favor of the idea, but it was immediately struck down by Henry, and he didn't really give a justification, and maybe it's just that it was something that he didn't want to look at the point, but I can't imagine anybody would want to make things more complicated and more expensive. That's just not the way we should run anything. So if we can figure it out, I'm in favor from my role going forward as Republican Party chair, and whatever we need to do to help with that pressure as it relates to the county seat, we'd be happy to do that. I imagine all these people would be happy to have us do that too.
And we've got a $700 budget and a couple of $100 on things that we really don't need to. And then we do make some sponsorship, a couple $100 for the FFA, for the fair. Excuse me, we still could do that as a group of townships.
Yeah.
We probably have more money that we can make for the children for awards and different things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would be all in favor of being an officer in a township of doing that.
Yeah.
And save money.
Just go bigger and less. Yep, sounds good.
Any other questions?
I will do a little look and see if I can find you a good township treasurer there, but
Yeah, just give it Bobby or myself a call, and we're
I
glad.
have some access to some of the information of who lives in townships, and maybe I can do a little looking from there,
Okay.
and maybe it'll be a little easier to entice them when we say we're going to try and eliminate your job in a few years here. So,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Okay, resolution to waive gap standards. Darren?
Good evening, Commission. Darren Myers, Intern County Administrator. I apologize in the agenda. I attached the wrong agenda item for that. It's last year's agenda's item, not this year's, but the information stays the same. Each year, the Commission looks at the standards that we use for financial accounting for the county. And for many years in the past, we've adopted this same resolution, just updated each year. Basically, it says what type of financial accounting system that we're abiding by, so that way the auditors and the state can track that. If we were to change outside of this, as we discussed last year, the reporting and the documentation changes tremendously to the point that our auditors actually think we'd have to hire another full-time employee just to do all the tracking, the reporting, the documentations, the filings, and all that would be needed. So with the thought of not wanting to hire anybody in the previous, as well as the ease of these types of accounting principles, the Commission has adopted this resolution for many years in the past, and that's why it's in front of you again this evening.
Any questions, Commissioner Roth?
You know, I think we discussed this in the past just a little bit, and the idea that we'd only really need to keep those standards if we were ever trying to work on some sort of large bond project or something like that. It just seems completely unnecessary to keep those, and I'm in favor of moving forward with this. So.
Okay. I move the Commission adopt Resolution 2020-01 and direct the clerk to publish the same.
It'll be 2021-01, correct?
Yes, 2021.
2021-01. Thank you.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. County Administrator Report. Darren?
I actually do have a couple things this evening for the Commission. The first is the Kansas Association of Counties is requesting that a county commissioner, not necessarily from Ellis County, but a commissioner would be interested in serving on the state's noxious weed advisory committee, that they're looking for an appointment from a commissioner with the KAC. So I didn't know if any of our commissioners would be interested in doing that. If you are, you can let me know. It's a 4-year term. You do not get compensated, but you do get expenses. However, all their meetings currently are virtual, so there's kind of could be too many expenses out of your pocket. The second thing is we've got a couple projects up at the Law Enforcement Center that I just want to bring to the Commission's attention to make sure there's no issues. The first is the up on the jail floor. There's skylights that have protective bars over top of them to help contain the inmates within the jail. However, there's significant safety issues with those bars, and the inmates get onto them, hang stuff from them, and just some significant safety concerns. The state fire marshal finally got back with us, and they allowed a variance on what we could put up there as a protective measure, so that way the inmates will not be able to mess with them anymore. And I've given the sheriff pending go-ahead to proceed with those repairs. It's just under $5,000, but we would use that out of the sales tax money that we had from the remodel project from 2013 to 18. The second project was another project, or a different project that was removed from the remodel plan. One of the judge's chambers door was supposed to have an exit into the hallway, so they wouldn't have to exit out of the jury room or into the courtroom itself. And we've gotten the bids back from that, and the court services would like to move forward with that. And since that's also a project within the law enforcement center, we could use those sales tax dollars for that, and it was just at $9,700 as well. So I thought I would at least bring it to the commission's attention to make sure you didn't have any issues before we signed the dotted line.
No, I'm in favor of both projects. I think the door is needed in the judge's chambers, and of course the jail. That's a safety issue. If you'd have some kind of a self-inflicted issue up there, a suicide or something like that, where the lawsuit far exceeds the $5,000 to fix that. So,
Yep.
So I have no problems with either. Commissioner Roth?
I have no problems with either as well. I think you figured out the way to fund them, and I think we need to move forward with that and get it taken care of, especially if they know that there's a concern in the jail. So.
Okay. Next, got two more things. Jason Kennedy, our Health Services Director, could not be here tonight due to a funeral. He did apologize, but he did want me to read a statement just on behalf of the Health Department on where they're at for this week, since it's been a few weeks since you've heard from him. So Jason wrote, "We have seen a continued downward trend of cases and percent of positives since November 23rd. I think he meant December 23rd, but it's been consistent. I encourage the community to continue taking personal measures to protect themselves and their loved ones. We have all been administered different doses of the COVID-19 vaccine at the Health Department as a Phase 1 priority staff. They anxiously await more available vaccinations. We have not received any information from the state regarding the availability or when the additional shipments will be available. They are working with the medical community, including the First Care Clinic and Hayes Med, to continue providing vaccination to the Phase 1 staff. We all want to provide vaccination in a safe and rapid fashion upon availability of the vaccine. As vaccines become more readily available, we will update the public and begin scheduling for appointments. We are also planning on exploring options for a mass vaccination community event. It will be likely in the spring before they see widespread availability that will allow successful implementation of this plan. We encourage everyone to continue educating themselves on the benefits of being vaccinated. Continue to follow best practices as we work together as a resolution of this pandemic."
Very good.
And the last thing to report is at the end of December was the first month that we collected the October collections of the sales tax that was passed last year for the countywide. And as a report, the October collections were just over $218,000 for the Ellis County portion alone. Obviously, we cannot base a whole year's trend off that 1 month. However, if that would be true, it would accumulate up to roughly just over $2.6 million in additional sales tax for the county, which is around $400,000 more than we anticipated or budgeted for in 2020. So obviously, our projections will probably go down from that 218 monthly just because it's the last quarter, as Commissioner Rhodes, you discussed on the phone with me earlier. Sales tax, everybody's being home, the holiday season, so those will probably teeter off a little bit, but hopefully we'll stay above that 2.2 projected that we had projected or budgeted for in the 2021 budget year. So that was the last thing I had on my list, but it was the kind of a good news looking for us for the future of Ellis County.
That's some very good news for the county.
Yeah, it is great news on fourth quarter sales. You always got to be, leery of them, but in the middle of a pandemic to have anything above, it seems like it's really good news, and good news for the future of hopefully retail sales in Ellis County.
Okay, county commissioner reports. Commissioner Roth.
Well, this is my last one before I get a golf next week while you guys are in meetings. So I just want to thank everybody for all the awesome people that I was able to meet. I had a great time doing this. I really felt like it was something that I was supposed to be doing. And, in my life, I've always tried to leave things better than I found them. I feel like as I go, I can feel that way about Ellis County and their finances, the type of people that we were able to hire during my tenure. I know the future looks bright, and that the future of Ellis County is in good hands. I'm excited for the road projects that are going to be started, not just the Northwest Business Corridor, but all the other fixing that will be done with that bond project that was long awaited, and that I believe that the taxpayers really knew we needed in order to make things work the way that they did. I apologize at any point if I was too much of a lightning rod. I think that's what one of my friends said to me the other day, but I never mean to be, but I know that in my heart of hearts, I always have to say what I feel is right and go the direction that we should, and I think the integrity of tax money is fundamental to governing people, and that's the only time I think I ever felt like I was maybe a bit of that lightning rod. I know that a great person is going to take over this chair. I'm not worried about where his heart is at all. I know he loves this county, grew up around here, and will do a good job. The one thing that I am a little concerned about, and it's only the thing that I want you guys to think about as I leave, and that is that the city that I live in, the city of Hayes, is a big portion of what will happen for Ellis County in the future. As Hayes goes, so does Ellis County and all the surrounding communities around it. I feel like Hayes is a beacon for all of Western Kansas, of a community that does things the right way. Not necessarily from a governmental perspective, but the people around here, the economy that we've built, the institutions that are here are unbelievable, and that was something that I hope that I could be, is a good advocate for Hayes while I was here, as a person who runs a store right across the street and has been investing in downtown Hayes. I want you guys to keep an eye on us. You do almost everything here anyway, and I just want you to know that this taxpayer group, I want you to do a conscious effort of representing them in the future. So I also wanted to say that, something that I was proud of, because I didn't know when I started how busy I would be with my work, with my family, with everything that I had going on, is my attendance. I never missed a meeting, and I was proud of that, because it was tough to do that on occasion. In some meetings, I'm sure I didn't have to be there, but I think as I got going, I realized that it was an important thing for me to try to make every one of them happen, despite how busy I may have been. That's all from me. I want to thank you, Commissioner Schleier. When I can finally talk with Dean without feeling like we're breaking any kind of coma meeting stuff, I'll probably sit down, have a beer with him, and thank him for all the time, too. This is really an odd position on a three-person board. I get to see these guys every Monday night, and it's like we didn't get to talk at all until that next Monday, and we don't know where people are standing. I don't know what that means for the future. You know, I think we're a big enough county that we could probably constitute a 5-person board, but I don't know that it's needed now. I think you guys are in good financial shape. I think that only when you start running into these big problems with not being able to discuss things with each other, that we could have a problem. I hope that we would get a little bit more leeway from the press because of that. I don't think we got that. I felt like we were overly, I just felt like we weren't treated fairly because of the nuances of our governing board. But that's okay. I guess we have to be better, not them, and we'll move on from that. I'm just excited to be able to spend a little more time with my family, not answer emails from people that are completely out of their minds about one thing or another, and maybe golf a little more. So appreciate all the time and all the wonderful people that I've been able to meet. We really have some amazing employees at Ellis County, and I was excited to see that as a person coming in from the outside, not knowing, just how dedicated people get in this public service role. With what I do as an entrepreneur, it's easy for me to be excited or diligent. I kind of get to reap the benefit of all the reward that I do in my own life as an entrepreneur. But to see that excitement from public service, from people that are working for the public, was really exciting to me, and something maybe I guess I didn't expect. So I appreciate that, and I'm excited that I was able to be a part of this for a couple years.
Okay. Commissioner Ross, I do want to say I very much enjoyed sitting on this board with you. You have brought a lot of discussion and insight to the issues we've had to look at on this board, and I very much appreciated it. And you're welcome to come back anytime and stand out here and let us know what you think about anything.
I imagine on occasion people might tell me I need to do that, but I'll try and let you guys do your job, and feel free to reach out to me if you ever think I might be able to offer that insight I talked about when I ran. I think that insight is important. I'm young, I'm a business person, and I'm a Hayes citizen, and I think that all those three perspectives are really important to the board. But I have no problem helping you guys. It's going to be a lot more fun watching you guys take the heat for the decisions from the outside. I don't know how much I'll be in at meetings, but I guess if you guys ever feel the need to reach out to me, frankly, because I'm not a commissioner anymore, we can be a lot better friends, Butch.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And I do want to express gratitude for Clerk Maskus. She'll be leaving us at the end of the week after 42 years of service. And she's a fixture here at the county. She was here when I started, which was a long time ago. Time goes by fast.
Yeah,
So,
Bobby has a little bit of shoes to fill. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever find anybody more kind and easygoing, so. Okay, well, that's not going to be good. Maybe you can pay her to bake then or something.
I've already
so.
asked her.
We do want to thank Clerk Maskus
Yeah,
for all
Donnie,
she's done for the county.
You are just the greatest, just a perfect shining example of a public servant.
And no executive sessions, and with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 5:30.